Okay, welcome back. We are now starting Chapter 2, where we'll be covering our widget build page, this being the page where all the customization and content management for your widget takes place. As you can see, this page has been divided up into 6 steps. You will basically be working your way down towards the bottom of the page in order to complete a widget build. And as we scroll down towards the bottom, you will also notice there is a sample widget on the page. This is intended to give you a preview of what it's going to look like before you publish your final version. Below that, we have the embed code, which you'll copy and paste into a website or blog. I will be showing you how to post one of these widgets to blogger.com very shortly. But let's jump back up top and we will take a look at step number 1. So this step deals with different tabs that can be enabled or disabled in your widget. It's all up to you about what you want to feature. But as you can see here, this first checkbox is a requirement, and that's our My Playlist tab, and it's intended for the end user's playlist. So for example, when a user starts interacting with your widget and they start building smart or manual playlists, those lists will in fact show up in this tab. Also, please note that if you decide you want to log into your Flyfi account directly from the widget, all of your existing playlist or smart playlist will appear in this tab. Then we have our Flyfi playlist tab, which is not a requirement, but if you leave it enabled, it's actually a great addition to the widget. We will show you stuff like our top weekly downloads, our Free Music Friday offering, which those two are enabled by default. And then we have additional stuff like our prefabs by different music genres and our video playlist by year, dating all the way back to 1950. And now we have our Partners Custom Playlist tab. Please leave this one enabled. If you disable it, you'll actually not see your custom playlist you built for the widget. You can also give this your own name. By default, we call it custom. For our demo, we will rename it to, how about a demo list? And then there's 4 other options here for additional content. We have our daily downloads, where we show you a few new releases, which can be either played in the widget or downloaded to a user's local machine. And there's some album art too, which goes along with these tracks. Then there's the music news and what's new on the net. Those are basically tabs which show music headlines. And lastly, we have our vintage videos, which will show you a few hand-picked vintage videos. And upon clicking on these videos, it'll show a enlarged version. So it's kind of cool. And feel free to leave any of these checked on. And that's about it for step number 1. So we will now take a look at step number 2. So this is where we'll be turning stations on and off in your widget. When I say stations, I actually mean playlist. Those two terms are interchangeable, so please don't be confused by that. You will notice we have this scrolling list, which shows all of your custom playlists you built beforehand, and also our video playlist by year. And below that, we have our prefab stuff for our free catalog of music. We have our brown player on the page, but it's been stripped away of some of the unnecessary buttons like the buy button, share button, etc. But we've kept the essential stuff that you need, so you can still choose a different video for a track, save that video choice, you can add tracks between playlists, or you can delete tracks. Also, if you desire, you can rearrange the order in which tracks are displayed in a given playlist by simply clicking on it, dragging it, and dropping it. And the same goes for your station list. You can change the order of that as well. So if you want to move this Michael Jackson station up a few slots, just simply click on it, drag it, and drop it. Okay. And that's about it. It's very straightforward, very easy to do. Just simply uncheck something if you don't want to feature it in your widget. And that's it for step number 2. So for our third step, I'm going to show you how to upload your own custom logo or graphic, which you can use to add a personal touch to your widget. Please remember it needs to fit these dimensions, 250 by 58 pixels. And I've got something I'll use for demonstration purposes. Browse to your file, click open, and then click the Save Logo button. The page will reload and update the widget. And we will scroll down and take a look at our sample widget on the page. Okay, the logo is there. Now if you want to match the rest of the widget's color to your logo, I will show you how to change the color scheme. We have this rectangle here. It has two regions. Click in each one to change whatever value you're trying to change. So we'll change the background color. Same goes for the color wheel and the inner square. You can actually click anywhere here, then click inside of it and shade it to a color of your liking. Or if you actually know the hex value, you can manually enter it here. I've got one in mind. Now I will click here on the smaller inner rectangle to change the font color. Then click the Save Colors button. Once again, let the page reload. Widget will update itself. And it's as simple as that. We have now changed the color scheme of the widget. So step number 5 deals with rescaling this widget. You can either manually enter the width and height here, or scroll down to the sample widget and you will notice this little tool down here at the bottom right corner where you can actually drag to scale the widget's height and width. So we will drag it out a little bit, move it up a little more. When you're happy, click the refresh button. Now the widget has updated itself to the new size. Very easy to do. I for one have some dimensions in mind which will fit nicely on my blog I'm about to show you. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so that's it for basically the customization with the scaling and the coloring. Let's move on to our final step, step number 6. So before we copy and paste our widget code in step 6, it doesn't hurt to click the refresh button one last time to make sure your widget's up to date. And once you've done that, we will click inside this box and we will highlight all the code. Make sure you get it all. Simply copy it. Now let's jump right over to blogger.com where I have a blog set up for our demo. We will make a new post. Let's give it a title. We'll call it My First Widget. Click in the message body and paste a code. And that's all you got to do. Now we will click the Publish Post button and let's view what we got. There you have it. You have now posted your first widget. It's that simple. So that's basically all we got for chapter 2. Please join us for our next chapter, where I'll be showing you how to use this widget and everything about the user interface. Thank you.